You're listening to Ideal Practice, episode number 10. And I've got a question for you today. So, my friends, would you describe yourself as an introvert? And if so, does the thought of getting out and meeting other practitioners, maybe for a cup of coffee, going to some event at the Chamber of Commerce, doing a little networking, making a few professional contacts, does it make you want to throw up? Or better yet, lock the bedroom door and hide under the covers? Maybe never go to a stupid conference again? Well, I get it. But you're in luck, honey, because today I'm going to teach you, yes, even the most hardcore introverts among you, how to become a networking ninja. Stay tuned. Hi, I'm Wendy Pitts-Reeves, and with over 2 decades of experience in the private practice world, I've built my 6-figure business while learning a lot of lessons the hard way. This is the first podcast that shows you how to apply the principles of energy, alignment, and strategy to build a practice that is profit-centered, but people-forward. This is the Ideal Practice Podcast. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Ideal Practice. This is Wendy. How are you guys doing today? I don't know about you, but I am having an awesome day. I don't know if you heard episode 7. Do you remember that, where I was talking about the importance of celebrating each and every win? Well, my partner today got a really big win in her business, and so we just went out and had a little bite to eat and a little celebration of our own at the end of the workday. And it has been really, really sweet. We practice what we preach around here. And now I'm back from that, and I thought I would pop in here and record one little episode for you before I call it a day. Because, my friends, I got so many things I want to share with you, and I don't want to wait. So, speaking of celebrations, have you, by any chance, left your 5-star review yet? Yeah, this is called shameless promotion, shameless self-promotion. Call it what it is. But y'all, it helps so much with the podcast. The more 5-star reviews we get, the more comments we get, the more other people are likely to see our program, and the more likely we will get to influence and impact and encourage other practitioners. So please help me out. If you can do that, I would love for you to do that for us. Leave us a 5-star review wherever you happen to be listening to this. And before I get into today's content, I just want to ask those of you, if you happened to listen last week to episode number 9, I'm wondering if you did the little exercise that we talked about. Did you download the worksheet, the free worksheet that I offered, where I specifically walked you through a series of questions to help you evaluate and get clear about the value of the work that you do and what you bring to the table, which should inform your pricing? If you didn't do that, I encourage you to go back and listen to episode 9 and check out the show notes. I'll certainly have the link to that little worksheet there. But make sure you do that, because I really think you can learn a lot from it. All right, so let's dive in to what I want to talk about today. And I thought I would start by telling you a story about a time when I did not handle this quite so well. So when my group practice was building and I was adding practitioners and I was very actively working on building a reputation for us in town, I was out and about in all kinds of ways. I volunteered a lot. I served on a lot of nonprofit boards. I did a lot of speaking, all kinds of things. And one of the things that you pretty much have to do in my small town, if you're getting a business going, is be a part of the Chamber of Commerce. Now, I don't actually do this anymore, but back then I did it a lot. And I don't know about in your town, but around here, our chamber has once or twice a month, they hold kind of a mixer where you either it's a morning thing with coffee or it's an afternoon thing somewhere. But essentially, you know the drill. You show up with a bunch of business cards in your pocket, walk around and make very painful small talk with strangers. try to pass your card off to a few people and walk out the door and hope somebody calls you with a referral. At least theoretically, that's the idea. Well, this one particular month back in the day, that particular time, our chamber was hosting this particular mixer at our local courthouse, where someone who had an office there was running for office, a candidate, and that candidate sponsored the mixer. So we held it at their office. And that was only literally half a block from my office. So I walked down to the courthouse, found my way to the space where this was happening. And it was, depending upon where you live, it may be different for you, but our courthouse has been around for a very long time. So it's got all kinds of interesting nooks and crannies where it has been modified and remodeled and added on to over the years. And this particular space was really tiny with lots of little odd corners and sections. And there were a lot of people crammed into a small space. And if you and I have never met, there's no way you would know this, but I am not known for my height. Let's just say that. I'm a little on the short side. And so when I'm crammed into a group of people making small talk in a small space, I'm looking up at everybody and trying not to suffocate. You know the deal? Can you relate to that? It was painful. It was really painful. And I'd been to several of these, and I had sort of started figuring out a bit of a process for how to get through them. But all of that failed me that particular day. I remember standing there trying to talk to some guy who was a good foot taller than me, who worked for a local manufacturer, and with whom I had absolutely nothing in common. Nothing I could find anyway. And it was so awkward. I got through that conversation and I thought, I am not doing this today. I do not have it in me. And I left. I just walked out, went down the elevator, went outside, and walked back to my office with angry tears pouring down my face all the way. I was so frustrated. I felt so stupid. I thought, what in the world is my problem? Why can't I handle this? What is wrong with me? Good Lord, what an idiot. Yeah, the self-talk was not so pretty that day. It was ugly. Went back to my office, closed my door, sat on my couch, and had a little cry. I had canceled clients that morning. I had blocked off time for this, but I just couldn't do it. Well, can you relate to that? I bet most of you can. Every now and then I meet someone who is an exception to this rule, but for most of us who work in healing arts, there is a reason why we are quite happy working with one or two people at a time all day long in our office behind a closed door. We like small, intimate gatherings, right? With deep conversations. We don't like superficial chit-chat with a million people over the course of a couple of hours. It's absolutely exhausting and draining. Well, I was thinking about this because over the past few weeks, I have been conducting what are often called course validation calls. I'm working on a new course that I want to create to teach you guys about private practice. And I'm just floating the idea, kind of getting a sense about how it works with people. So I have had a series of short, brief phone calls with a variety of folks, just kind of, what's working in your practice? What do you wish you knew more about? Do you ever take a course and how does that work for you? Those kinds of conversations. It's just part of the research I've been doing. And it's really interesting because what I'm finding is that people are working crazy hours, but that's not what bothers them. People are launching new practices that take off like a rocket. That's not a problem. People have more business than they can keep up with. That's not a problem. I mean, all of these kind of are problems, really, but they didn't always see it that way. And the one thing that no matter who I've talked to so far, the one theme that seems to keep coming up is folks will tell me all kinds of things. Oh yeah, I've got so many new referrals and I've already added 2 practitioners to my brand new group. And I'm really excited because I've been doing this kind of work I've wanted to do forever. And yeah, my rates aren't quite where they want to be, but overall I feel like I'm doing really well. I just don't, there is, one thing I'm not doing so well with. And it's funny because their voice will kind of drop and they look kind of funny. And I'm like, yeah, good. I'm glad to hear it because, you're human and we all have something, often lots of somethings. And so I said, what is it? What is the thing that you're having the most trouble with? And to a T, almost every person I've talked to has said, marketing. And so when I ask a little more, like, so what about marketing? What do you mean by that? What is it about marketing that's hard? Inevitably, what they're really talking about is networking. It's about getting out from behind their computer, out from behind their sweet little office, and out into the world, talking to real live human beings in real live time in the same room at the same place. And yeah, since the pandemic, we've all gotten a little rusty about that. I know that's kind of like a thing. We're all sort of having to push ourselves back out there again. But y'all, this isn't new for us, is it? No, this isn't new for us. So when you think you're having trouble with marketing, well, marketing is a whole nother thing. There's a lot to be said about what the concept of marketing is. And we will certainly talk about that here and there. But what most of you mean is, I hate going out and talking to people. I hate it. Well, my friend, I get you. I hear you. As I shared in that little story, I too have had my struggles with that. But I figured a few things out. Yay. And I think you are going to love this because what I'm going to share today, I'm going to give you a literal step-by-step exactly what process, what steps to follow to get you through virtually any networking misery in style. And honestly, you might even enjoy it. And what I'm going to tell you about, what I'm going to teach today, is especially useful when you're attending any kind of a meeting that involves a group of people, where you have to walk around and make small talk. So perhaps a local chapter meeting of your professional organization, or maybe you're attending a class or a conference for your continuing education, or maybe you're even just going to a community event or a mixer or a nonprofit fundraiser, 500 people in a ballroom somewhere. Whatever it is, this is going to help you in those situations. But you can also modify this to fit almost any situation where you gotta go talk to people, including a backyard barbecue, a Sunday school class, the youth group you're going to be speaking to, or the friendly little network lunch with a couple of women friends who just think you'd be awesome and they want you to join them. All right, so pay attention, y'all. You might want to take notes because this is going to help. So before you go, we're going to talk about what to do to get ready, how to prepare. We're going to talk about what to do while you're there, how to get through it. We're going to talk about what to do the minute you leave the room and get to your car, or if you're like me, you're walking back to your office. We're going to talk about what to do when you get home, because there are very specific steps that you can take at each one of those that will not only help you survive this energetically and emotionally, but it's also going to help you make some good use out of it. It actually will help you do the networking in a way that actually works for you, helps your practice, helps your business. You might even make a new friend. I'm telling you, don't knock it. It's possible. It has happened. So here you go. Before you go, there's one thing I want you to do way in advance. And then there's one thing I want you to do literally an hour before you go or 20 minutes before you go. So way in advance, before you go to any kind of a group meeting where you're likely to meet new people, I want you to get prepared in this way. I want you to sit down at your computer and write an email draft. Actually, 3 email drafts. And you can do this however you want to. A lot of times I'll create an email actually in my email inbox. I just don't address it to anybody. And in the subject line, I will label it as a template and I save it to my drafts folder. But I've also done this in just a Pages or a Word document. I've done it in Trello. I've done it in Dropbox. Wherever it works for you, I want you to sit down and write 3 emails. The first one is short and sweet, and it's essentially going to say, hey there, name. It was so good to meet you today at blank. I really enjoyed our conversation. I loved hearing about your experience with blank. And I hope that we can meet again soon or that our paths continue to cross. It was really a delight. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for coming and take good care. Something like that. It's one paragraph, 2 or 3 sentences, spread out a little bit. You don't make any offers. You don't suggest any call to action. You just say, it was good to meet you today. Thanks for coming. And you reference something specific in the conversation. That's email number 1. So that they know that you're writing to them and this isn't a form letter. We're just creating a template here, but it's not a form letter. Email number 2. Hey there, name. I was thinking about our conversation a few weeks ago when you and I were talking about X, when we ran into each other at Y event. Remember that? Well, I was thinking about that and I came across this today and I thought you might find it kind of interesting. So I'm just sending it along just in case this might be something you can use or that you might enjoy. Hope you like it. Let me know what you think. And thanks again. Hope you're doing well and I'll talk to you later. Take good care. Just thinking about you. Bye now. Something like that, right? So this is a follow-up email that you would send 2 or 3 weeks after meeting someone where you might put a link in there to a YouTube video. You might attach an article that you read somewhere. You might give them a link to a website where you found a few tips that were relevant to something that they said. Essentially, you are finding a way to serve them. So in the template, you don't know what the conversation was and you don't know what you're going to attach because it will be specific to the person themselves. But you can still write the template and fill in those minor details later. Got it? You with me so far? That's email number 2. Email number 3, and y'all, all of these are short. Email number 3 is, wanted to follow up and see if you got the blank that I sent you last week. What did you think? Was it helpful? Would love to hear what you thought about that. Something along those lines. And as I've been thinking about our conversation and about the work that you do, if there's any way I can serve or help you, please, by all means, reach out. I can't remember if I told you or not, but it may help you to know that I work with blank, fill in your ideal client. I love helping folks like that do blank what? So that they can get their blank, their life back, etc. And if there's any way I can help you or a friend of yours or a colleague, by all means, keep me in mind. I'm happy to help in any way I can. And in fact, even if I can't help, I'm happy to help you find someone. So just wanted to toss that in there and let you know that I'm here if there's anything I can do. And again, it was really great to meet you. Hope you're doing well. Take good care. Something along those lines. So you see what we've done? Email number 1 is just, hi, it was nice to meet you today. Email number 2 is, I've been thinking about you and here's something I thought you might like, where you provide some kind of a small bit of value for them. And email number 3 is, did you get that? Did you like it? Did it help? Well, if there's anything else I can do, oh, by the way, this is what I do. Keep me in mind. I want you to write these 3 emails and save them somewhere in a drafts folder or a templates folder where you can pull them up at any time and copy and paste them into an email. All right, that's step 1 before you go. Now let's talk about when you actually get there. So let's say you're going to a conference, maybe a conference with your profession, and there's hundreds of people everywhere and the halls are full, and you're going to be in these breakout sessions with a whole bunch of people, and there's all this mixing and mingling and small talk before things start and after things end, and when you're in the line at the exhibitor table, right, all that kind of stuff. So let's say you're about to go to that, and you're on your way. If you're in your car and you're driving there, you might do this in the car before you get out at the parking lot before you go in. If you're staying in a hotel and you're about to take the elevator down to the meeting rooms, you might do this in your room before you walk out and go down the hall. But right before you go into the space where you're going to meet people, I want you to do 2 things. I want you to, number 1, get centered. And by that, I want you to close your eyes. I like to make sure my feet are on the ground. So if I'm sitting in a chair or in my car, make sure my feet are flat on the floor. I like to put my hands on my heart. I will often cross my hands and put them on my heart because I like to imagine that I am sending warm, bright, positive energy to my own heart. And I want you to take 3 nice, deep breaths. Close your eyes, feet on the ground, sit up nice and straight, or stand if you're standing. Put your hands on your heart if you want to. Take 3 nice, deep breaths. And then the second thing I want you to do is I want you to set your intentions. And I'm going to be specific here. I want you to ask yourself 3 questions. And y'all, this will be so much more powerful, so much more effective if you actually answer these questions out loud. The first question is, who do I want to meet today? Well, I might want to meet someone who can help me with my website. I might want to meet someone who has access to an adolescent treatment center that I could maybe make some contacts with. I might want to meet someone today who knows about daycares because I have got to find a place for my 3-year-old before I lock her in a closet. Who do I want to meet today? Maybe I want to meet someone that I can help in a way that no one else has. The second question I want you to ask is, what do I want to learn today? What do I want to learn today? Maybe I want to learn something new about a service in my town. Maybe I want to learn something new about a new business that's just opened up. Maybe I want to learn something new about a new technique that people are beginning to talk about and study. Maybe I want to learn that there's a resource that I didn't even know was out there that's going to be perfect for my clients. What do I want to learn today? And the third question I want you to ask is, what will tell me this was a success? How will I know that this was a success? Is it that somebody invites me for coffee soon? Is it that I meet 2 people that I actually like and actually think I might want to talk to again? Is it that someone invited me to come and speak at their church or their civic club or their company? And that's really, although it freaks me out a little bit, it's a really great opportunity. What will tell me this was a success? It might be that I get through the thing without a panic attack or without walking out early and going back to my office and crying. It doesn't matter to me, y'all, but I want you to define for you what will tell you that today was a success. So get prepared, write your email series in advance, get centered, close your eyes, take 3 deep breaths, put your hands on your heart. Right? Get centered. And then set your intentions. Who do I want to meet today? What do I want to learn today? And what will tell me this was a success? And y'all, take the time to answer those questions for yourself because there is power in that. There's magic in that. This is the role of energy. And I told you we're going to be talking about that sometime in this podcast. Your intention, your attention are magic. And just saying the words out loud and taking the time to get clear about it. This is what I want today. You watch me. It will happen. It will happen in ways that astound you. All right, so that's the before phase. All right, you got me with that? You with me so far? All right. If you need to go back and listen to this again, do so. Take notes. But y'all, I'm telling you, this works. Now, while you're there, how do you get through all the small talk? I've had so much experience of this, and y'all, I cannot tell you. I mean, it really is hard for me. This is not my thing. I am someone, I can stand on a stage and talk to 500 people and have a perfectly good time. Or I can help in the kitchen out back. But that mixing and mingling in the middle, I really have a hard time with that. So this is what I have developed. This is how I cope with those times. And this is going to help you. This is magic. So listen to me. First of all, before you walk into the room, I guess you could say this is part of the before as well. I'm sorry, I didn't think about it that way because you're going to actually be using this while you're there. But I want you to think about 2 or 3 questions that you can use as really juicy conversation starters in advance. 2 or 3 questions that you identify. And Lord, if you want to write them on the back of on a little an index card and stick it in your pocket so you can pull it out like a little cheat sheet, that's fine. When you're really nervous, sometimes you can't think of what to say. So if you want to do that, do that. Write them on an index card, not a business card, because you might mess up and give that to somebody. But write them on an index card if you need to and pull them out, okay? And I want you to come up with 2 or 3 questions that you can use, such as, what's your business? What do you do? I'm curious. Tell me about it. What do you do? Perhaps a question like, oh, that's really interesting. What do you love about that work? Like, what got you started doing that to begin with? That's super interesting. Whatever. How'd you get into that? Because it's interesting hearing people tell you how they got into the work that they did. As a healer, you will know something about them just from that little bit of conversation. It will tell you something about them. And then my favorite is from there. That makes a lot of sense. That's a great story. So what would you say is the greatest challenge that you're facing right now? What's working? Well, what's working for you or what's not working? Like, tell me about that. What's the biggest challenge you got right now in your work, in your field, in your career, in your business? Now, I want you to notice what in each of those questions, those are my favorite questions. You might come up with different ones that work for you. Doesn't matter to me. But those are all genuinely curious, interested questions that help us go deeper right off the bat. Deeper, which is what we introverts feed off of, right? And what do you know about other people that most folks on the street don't realize? I'm going to tell you a little secret that I think you already know. People like to talk about themselves. As much as even those of us who are introverts don't want to be seen, we are quite happy hiding behind the back of everybody. The truth is we all like to talk about ourselves. And as a healer, you are naturally interested in other people. It's one of your gifts. It's how and why you care. So this is leaning into something that comes natural for you. And when you ask people questions, they will talk. And it's amazing how much easier the conversation goes at that point. All right? So figure out those questions in advance, just 2 or 3, no more than that. And if you need to, if it's hard to remember them, write them on a little card, an index card, and stick them in your pocket. And then here's my favorite tip. When you get there, look around the room and look for the other introverts. You can spot them. You know them. They're the shy ones. It's the one person who is sitting at a tin-top table with nobody else. It's the one sitting over in the corner on the side, hoping nobody will talk to them. It's the one standing awkwardly behind the food table, not sure what to do with the plate they've got in one hand, the drink they've got in the other, and the notepad they've got under their arm. It's the ones who won't make eye contact with anybody. Like, you can spot them because the odds are pretty good you're one of them. And here again is where your healing heart comes in handy. I want you to focus on helping them. Go talk to them. Use your questions. And you can say something like, I hate these things, don't you? That's a natural opener. Don't ask them what their sign is. Don't ask them if they come here often. But when you say, oh, hey, yeah, these things are so hard for me. Are they for you too? Like, what do you think? I never know what to say to anybody. They'll go like, oh, yeah, me too. And then you can put out your hand and say, hi, my name is Wendy. Or don't say that if your name's not Wendy. Hi, my name is whatever. What's yours? Oh, what a nice name. So tell me, what do you do? What's your business? Or are you from here? Do you live local or did you fly in for this conference? Oh, that's really cool. You see where I'm going with this? You just start asking them questions, but they are deeper questions that take you to a deeper place. You're going to love that. And then here's the thing. You're focusing on service. You're making somebody else's life better, and you will feel good, and it will not be hard. It will be easy, and they will be grateful. I have done this for so long at so many events. I have people that to this day come up and hug my neck when I see them, even if it's been years, because they remember a conversation I had with them in a room full of 300 or 400 people years ago, right? So big things happen. I met my bookkeeper this way. So really good things can happen. And here's the cool part. If you're having a conversation that you're enjoying and you kind of like this person and there's something about their energy that really kind of clicks for you, ask for their card. Don't offer yours. Ask for theirs. Say, I am loving this conversation and I would love to stay in touch with you. Do you have a card? If they've been working with me, they'll have a card. If they've got their head on straight, they'll have a card of some sort. If they don't, get a piece of paper and write their contact information down or write their information on the back of one of your cards, but get their contact information and say to them, I'd love to stay in touch. If it's okay with you, maybe I'll follow up with you because I just want to hear what happens. This is great. And here's another little ninja trick. Put your cards in your left pocket and put your other cards that you take in your right pocket. That way you don't get them mixed up. And y'all don't have your cards in some kind of a little carrier. Not for this. Have them where they're really easy to get out without you having to hunt for them. Don't have to dig through them through your backpack or a purse. Have them easy to reach. But put them in your left pocket. Put the cards people give you in your right pocket so you instantly know where to go to get what you want. So ask for their card and put it in your pocket. And that now has given you permission to contact them later, and the ball is in your court, not theirs. And that, my friends, is golden. You with me so far? I'm teaching you a lot today. I am teaching you a lot. This is a full-blown training, and it's good stuff. I want you to get it. All right, so you did your preparation work. You got your email series written. You got centered and grounded, and you set your intentions before you walked into the room. While you're there, you had already figured out what questions you were going to use to start a conversation. You've looked around the room and made contact with 2 or 3 other shy folks or quiet folks or just folks who are kind of standing on the edge, and you have helped them have a better day. Yay for you. And you've probably collected a few business cards, right? So now, when you leave, the minute you get out to your car, up to your hotel room, wherever it is you go after this, before you do anything else, I want you to pull out all those cards that are in your right pocket, look at them, and go through them. And immediately I want you to take out the ones that you really enjoyed. Pull out the cards from the people you're like, oh, she was really nice, or he was interesting, or I think that person can help me with something, my website, for example. Pull those out. Toss the rest of them. Right there, you're never going to talk to them. You didn't click with them. You don't even remember who they were. It doesn't matter. Take those cards and throw them away. What you have left shouldn't be very many. It may only be 2 or 3. It may be 4 or 5, but it won't be many because you're an introvert. You go deep. You don't go wide. So you're going to have a handful of a few cards from people that you really connected with. And before you do another thing, before you take another step, I want you to turn those cards over and write on the back. If they have a picture on the back or there's some reason why you can't write on it, get a little sticky note or something and put it on there. But find a way to write on their cards or with their cards. And write a couple of notes that will remind you who they were, which one they were. You might write, she was the one with the red glasses that I like so much. He was the one that was like super tall. She was the one that had a puppy that was 3 months old that was so cute. He was the one that had a contact, a lawyer that he thought I could talk to about copyrights and trademarks. Like write a few notes on the back, just a little bit, just enough to jog your memory about which one they were. That's it. That's all you got to do right now. You can put them away until you get home. Now, when you get back to your office, to your computer, back in the hotel room, or back to your office, back home, the first thing I want you to do the next day or your next working day, don't do it at night, don't do it over the weekend, but when you get to your desk, I want you to pull out those cards that are all going to be easy to recognize and remember now, and I want you to schedule those. I want you to write those email series to them. I want you to pull up the drafts that you wrote and write email number 1, 2, and 3 to each of those persons. Go ahead and write them, fill in the details, have them saved, and schedule them. Go ahead and send the first one that day, right away. If not that day, the next, within 48 hours, 2 or 3 days. Not long, so they don't forget you and you don't forget them. Send the first one right away. But then, if you can go ahead and schedule the email to go out automatically, that's great. But if not, make a note in your planner. Put a note on your calendar that 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later even, you send them that email number 2 where you share value. It's okay to spread it out a little ways. It doesn't need to be quick because you're not stalking them. You're just staying in touch. And schedule the third one as well. All right? And look at you. Look at you right now. You now know exactly what to do. You got this, my friend. So go get 'em, Tiger, because going forward, you are now a networking ninja. Yeah. And that, my friends, is a wrap. I'm so glad you guys are here. Thank you so much for listening. You guys are the absolute best. If you've enjoyed this episode, tell a friend about it. Share it with a colleague. And don't forget to click subscribe because I don't want you to miss a single thing coming up. I got lots of good stuff in store for you. I hope you have an awesome week, and I will see you next time. Bye now.